grace of God bless man and every woman in this land. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Whatever comes to meet us, know the darkness won't defeat us. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Some say the end is coming, to set our souls running, but I say, stay strong and keep your faith alive. Let's all come together, take care of each other, stay strong. Yesterday, one of the things we were talking about was the way, the purity of the elements. And I neglected to mention an ancient practice. There's a ashram. Ashram means a place of aspiration near Rishikesh, the city of sages, called Shanti Kunj, a spring of peace. And they practice yagna therapy, a fire sacrifice therapy.
Oh, I have friends that do that.
And you go there and they analyze your condition, and they either treat it with homeopathy, herbs, or they recommend yagna therapy. Now they have a computer lab there where some brilliant guys have figured out that when you throw different substances into the fire, they create different ultrasonic resonances which vibrate with different parts of your etheric body and purify different parts of your etheric body to heal you. So they have a whole science of what conditions can be cured with the ultrasonic resonance. So they have, and there's an ancient tradition, generated by these sages who lived in the forest, was very, very pure and had micro-clairvoyant vision, tremendous sensitivity, who developed the science that when you toss the ghee in the fire, you listen to the different sounds that the fire alone makes. Plus, as you toss the ghee in, it makes a particular ultrasonic sound. The rice, the kumkum, the different substances. And then they
use gems as well. Shanti Kunj.
What I remember was the altar. They had an altar with 24 altars, one to each syllable of the Gayatri mantra. Okay, and a goddess for each, and a yantra for each syllable of the Gayatri mantra. And the ashram is dedicated to the Gayatri mantra. Each day, people pledge to do a certain number of repetitions. So they'll post, today we did 6.2 million repetitions of Gayatri mantra for world peace,
What is this place called?
Shanti Kunj. And and they have a chapter in like Berkeley and wherever there are a lot of Indians. It's a big ashram, and they have a world mission as well. They have a program for reforming, sport groups for reforming corrupt policemen, where they chant together and they support each other in being honest and stuff. So. Moving right along. So today we have the blessing of learning the Gayatri Pranayama. So prana is the life force and yama is control of the life force. And this is a very, very powerful meditation that we will be using, very powerful form of mantra yoga, in which as we do the mantra, we'll be focusing on each of these planes of consciousness, each of these chakras. So the mantra will be Om Bhur, and we focus on our root chakra. Om Bhuvaha, and we focus on our sacral chakra. Om Swara, we focus on the solar plexus. Om Maha, which is the Maha's thatness, being, we focus on the heart. Tapa is tapas, which is the fire of passion, where we in India, one of the traditions is do a tapas, you do an austerity to keep your mind concentrated. There are renunciate sadhus who wander around India with big rocks tied to their balls so they remember God and forget their sexuality. There are other guys who will hold a lingam in their hand until their nails have grown through their hand, or they'll stand in the Ganga with one arm in a tree, one arm tied up in a tree for months or years, as a way of remembering God, to totally keep their mind on their practice. Yeah, it's a wild culture.
Not for everybody.
Not for everybody. Yeah. Well, think about the Catholic Church, where you would whip yourself, or you have sharp chains that you would put in your thigh, so that pain would drive you into passion, because passion is very powerful spiritually. If you want to hallucinate, have a nice sacred hallucination, you get a little crazy. Moving right along. I'm just speaking from personal experience. You want to hallucinate a deity, get a little crazy. Nothing like it. Moving right along. Now, I'm not recommending this.
Not signing people up?
No, I'm not signing anyone up for this. And I wanted to mention, in terms of the session that we've been doing, that at this point, just take the principle from the session, which is stillness and presence. So don't worry about where your hands are. Be totally intuitive. Don't worry about the order or anything. Don't feel like you don't know how to do it, because you know the essence and you've experienced the power of the essence, and you can totally follow your intuition and apply it in whatever way. You know, if you're doing massage, stop at the end of your stroke and be present in stillness. Ground and center yourself before you do the work. Yeah, you hear these principles. You're cultivating stillness and presence, because again, stillness is where the power lies. Presence is where the power lies. So it doesn't matter whether you remember the specific technique or the order of it or anything. Just trust your intuition. Make it up as you go along, but apply the principles. So I wanted to just clarify that. So don't say, oh, I don't remember. Doesn't matter. And what you're guided to will be totally appropriate. Just trust your guidance and trust the wisdom of a higher power working through you. So, so the meaning of this is Om Bhur, Om the earth, Om Bhuvaha, the astral, Om Swar, the heavenly realms, Om Mahatattva is being, Om Jnana, knowledge, the divine knowledge. Om Tapa again is passion, austerity. Satyam is again being on a higher octave, transcendental being. And then we go Om Tat, Savitur Varanium, that, Savitur, the power beyond the suns, the power that illuminates the suns, the power that gives life to the stars, that which is worthy of worship. Apo Jyoti, that self-effulgence, it's the light of consciousness which is not caused by anything else. It's self-effulgence. The self-effulgence, Asam Amritam, the nectar of immortality, and that self-effulgent nectar of immortality, which is the light of consciousness. Like you are a vessel for the nectar of immortality. Do you hear that? You are Jyotir, self-effulgent, Samritam, Amrit, Amrit. You are a vessel for the nectar, the self-effulgent light of the nectar of immortality. That this is what we're cultivating here. That is Brahma, the breath. That is earth. That is all that transcendent. That is everything. So we're saying Om is earth. Om is the astral. Om is the heaven. Om is being. Om is passion, knowledge, passion, transcendental being. Just truly everything is this mystical syllable Om, which is the transcendental sound of mystery, which is the holy word. In the beginning is the word is. So, you want to get comfortable.
Om Bhuva Om Swaha Om Maha Om Jana Om Tapa Om Satyam Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Apo Jyoti Rasomritam Brahma Bhurbhuva Swaro. Om Tapa Om Satyam Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Apo Jyoti Rasomritam Brahma Bhurbhuva Swaro. Om Tapa Om Satyam Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Apo Jyoti Rasomritam Brahma Bhurbhuva Swaro. Om Tapa Om Satyam Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Apo Jyoti Rasomritam Brahma Bhurbhuva Swaro. Om Jana Om Tapa Om Satyam Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Apo Jyoti Rasomritam Brahma Bhurbhuva स्वरो सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योति रसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुव स्वरो सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योति रसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुव स्वरो धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योति रसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुव स्वरो सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योति रसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुव स्वरो सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योति रसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुव स्वरो ॐ मः ॐ जनः ॐ तपः ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरो ॐ ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरो ॐ ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरो ॐ ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरो ॐ ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरो ॐ ॐ ॐ तप ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपोच्योति रसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुव स्वरो ॐ तप ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपोच्योति रसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुव स्वरो ॐ भुवः ॐ स्वः ॐ महः ॐ जनः ॐ तप ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपोच्योति रसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुव स्वरो ॐ भुवः ॐ स्वः ॐ महः ॐ जनः ॐ तप ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपोच्योति रसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुव स्वरो ॐ भुवः ॐ स्वः ॐ महः ॐ जनः ॐ तप ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपोच्योति रसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुव स्वरो ॐ भुवः ॐ स्वः ॐ महः ॐ जनः ॐ तप ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरो ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरो ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरो ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरो ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरो ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ आपोच्योति रसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुव स्वरो। ॐ सत्यं ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ आपोच्योति रसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुव स्वरो। ॐ सत्यं ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ आपोच्योति रसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुव स्वरो। ॐ सत्यं ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ आपोच्योति रसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुव स्वरो। ॐ
Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May peace, may peace, may peace and justice prevail on our beloved Mother Earth. We dedicate our efforts to a vision of a springtime of humanity, where all humanity makes a leap in consciousness and realizes the unity and divinity of all life, where we cherish our Mother Earth as our own dear mother, where we share with each other as brothers and sisters. Many years ago, I had a dear friend who followed the Baha'i path, which is a relatively new religion, a very beautiful, poetic Persian mystic who, I think a 19th century mystic, created a world religion based on brotherhood. And she's was in a group, a Baha'i chorus. and they were invited to sing at the 100th anniversary of the World Congress on Religion. So all these sages and saints from all over the world were gathering to celebrate this 100th year anniversary of this Congress that many of them have been going to for generations. Originally it was established by the Christians to bring people all over the world together to testify that Christianity was the religion, but it didn't work out quite the way they'd planned. But in any case, she was in the Baha'i chorus, and so you had this very deeply spiritual, exalted group of people creating this minefield, and then you had the Baha'i chorus singing these odes to the mystery. And so in this exalted state, in this chorus, she had this vision of a springtime of humanity, that there are different possibilities happening for the world, and that some of us are choosing to be a part of a springtime of humanity, or all humanity. Like they do some past life regressions, they also do future life regressions. And many people end in these paralleling universes where humanity has made a leap in consciousness. And there is a springtime. Can you imagine? We've only lived in a winter here. Imagine only living in a winter where you've never seen a green leaf, a flower. We've lived in a winter of humanity here. So she saw this, she realized this, she open to that possibility. So realize that that possibility is available to us all to be part of this leap in consciousness, this springtime of humanity, in which we realize the divinity of all life, and we cherish all life. When I was teaching at Rutgers, I had a colleague, Peter Elberger, B-E-R-G-E-R, was a very well thought of sociologist of religion. And he said when the ancient Jews lost their land, they put God in a book. And God was no longer in the springs, in the groves, in the fields, in the rivers, in the mountains, which had been held sacred. And once you took God off the earth, you could do anything, and the earth wasn't sacred. God was in a book, God was in heaven. You could do anything you wanted to do on the earth. So that was a fundamental shift in our evolution from living in a sacred world to a abstract philosophical concept and a storybook instead of a sacred earth. So imagine if we lived in a possibility where this earth was held sacred and everything we did had to meet that measure of truth. So in any case, I wanted to mention that when we say we dedicate our efforts to a springtime of humanity, this is happening in a paralleling universe. So if you believe in paralleling universes, or you want to hope to entertain the possibility of a paralleling universe, this is one I invite you to cultivate. And because indeed my friend in this exalted state did indeed witness this. God is blessed. Thoughts or questions about the gift of this Gayatri Pranayama? Did everyone feel activations in your body, energy in your core, your crown chakra opening up? Great. Any questions about the practice? I have this on YouTube, both in 27, which is 54-108, 1/4 of 108, and I also have 108 on YouTube if you want to do it for an hour, like on a full moon or something you want to do this for. 27 is there too, yeah. 27 and 108 are both on YouTube, and you can just...
The one we just did was 27.
No, we just did 10.
We just did 10.
10, yeah. They're about a minute each. Yeah, great.
I have a question. Did they put much, so it feels like it sounds pretty standard in a way, monotone, but I can feel that there's an ascension of sounds.
Yeah, you should be going up the musical scale. I just don't have the talent to do it or the teaching to do it. So please, take this as a doorway, and as you do the practice, refine it, make it your own, and trust your guidance. The sage Baba Haridas, who was a sage Chela and I both had in our life, who didn't speak after he was 7 years old. So he spent almost 80 or 90 years of his life in silence. He wrote on his chalkboard, everybody meditates differently. Okay? So just like everybody dances differently, everybody meditates differently. So I hope that empowers you to do this practice in your way, if you choose to do this practice.
Is it important? Like, I found it so hard to pronounce those words and follow them that I liked listening better. So I could do.
Yeah, you can start listening, and then over the, if you want to make it your practice, over a period of time, you can cultivate listening carefully and learning them. Because again, Sanskrit is a psychoactive language that each letter has to do with very scientific and precise movement of your tongues and lip and palate. And they actually create these vibrational fields and internally these states of consciousness. Mm-hmm. So that when you say Amrit, it actually creates the nectar of immortality in your consciousness.
The listening is not the same as...
But the listening is very powerful too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the listening is very powerful too. Yeah. Okay. So just follow your path.
It's probably different with like headphones and you're just listening to it and then hearing versus everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just me and that guy. Probably do pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm constantly listening carefully, trying to refine my understanding and hearing. There's Sanskrit, Kayla and I tune into a Sanskrit course out of Belgium, Shantala, and she'll take a different mantra every week and teach a different mantra every week. If you want to check in with us, we'll give you the URL if you'd like to go deeper into Sanskrit. And then she has year-long courses where she'll teach you to do a particular longer prayer or teach you the basics of Sanskrit in some way. There's a wonderful example of that called the Maharishi effect, that when the Maharishi first, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, when he first introduced transcendental meditation to the US, tens of thousands of people were doing it. So he demonstrated that when he created a congress where he brought his advanced meditators together, that their purification of the auric field was so powerful that it would cut all the measures of social disorder in half. So in Washington, D.C., during Clinton's administration, he had a congress like that, and just all the statistics of crime and violence, and it also enabled Clinton to cruise through a crisis, evidently, that he should have tripped over. Some big crisis happened there. And so then he sent his people to Israel, where there was a war going on, and a truce was declared. And then he sent them to Iran, and as soon as they left, the truce ended. Then he sent them to Iran, where there was a revolution going on, and again, there was a truce declared, a ceasefire declared, and as soon as they left, they went back, and this is all in the Yale University's Journal for the Study of Conflict Resolution. They study all this and they articulate this, and it's shown scientifically that when we do our practice, we create coherence in the etheric field around us, and it just what you're saying, it just contributes to the well-being of the planet. And if we get enough of us doing, and Maharishi said that critical point was like only 2 or 3% of the population doing TM would create that, because again, sattva is so over-determined that just 2 or 3% of us doing our practices can really radically shift the world. So look up the Maharishi effect. It's quite profound, and it's scientifically proven, if that helps.
Let the grace of God bless man and every woman in this land. Stay strong, keep your faith alive. Whatever comes to me, just know that darkness won't defeat us. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Some say the end is coming, to set our souls running, but I say, stay strong and keep your faith alive. Let's all come together, take care of each other. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Raise your hand